What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Marlon Speaks Live. Up in this thing, man, one more time. As y'all already know. Uh as the title says, I wanted to properly introduce myself to y'all, man. I thought about it and I said, you know what? I don't think y'all really know who y'all talking to or who y'all listening to. So almost at 200 subscribers. That's the milestone for me. 200 people. I know way more than 200 people. I probably know 20,000 people in real life. And I know them all too. But, for anybody to spend any amount of time listening to me on this YouTube, on these social medias, when they got so many other options, that mean a lot. They mean a whole lot. And I haven't been running this channel for that long, but I've been managing YouTube channels for about 5 years now, starting with my son's channel. So I'm aware of how the YouTube algorithm work. I'm aware of how to build a channel. I'm aware of the consistency. So if you in here, look, drop where you from, in the chat, drop city, where you from. I got a Facebook person there, so most likely you from Flint and you probably know me firsthand. But yeah, I still want to see, drop, or if you know me in real life, put in there how you know me with the rest of the world. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, a lot of how this or how this YouTube work, it's just basically just being consistent. It's basically being consistent and, knowing your audience, I'll say. So that's what this video is all about. I really want y'all to know me so I can get a chance to know y'all, so I don't want nobody being confused about what this channel represents, even though it's in the description, and I believe my description is a valid depiction of what I represent. I don't know it word for word, but it pretty much says, you're dealing with a person with a different perspective in general. And, I believe that we need to educate each other on who we really are. And so with that being said, let me introduce myself properly to y'all. My name is Marlon Lafayette Brown, Sr. I have a son named Marlon Lafayette Brown, Jr., and he's a producer. He go by the name of Energy Beats. Y'all might have heard his music, might have not, but he got a tag that says, Energy made this one. So that's my oldest son. I have 4 other children. I have a daughter older than him. Her name is Amore. I have a daughter younger than him. Her name is Marquita. I have a son younger than her named Marion. And I have a baby girl. Her name is Amaya. All their last name Brown. This is my legacy. So they're my babies. My parents' name is Marcus Lafayette Brown, and my mother name is Katie Jean Brown. I got 3 brothers: Marcus Jamar Brown, Nicholas Brown, and Isaiah Brown. So 3 brothers, but only one living brother. His name is Isaiah. That's my baby brother. So I lost my brother older than me and younger than me. Now I just got my baby brother. So that's my family background. I'm 48 years old. I'm from Beecher, Michigan, right outside of Flint, Michigan. So I come up in the 80s and 90s. Pretty much Generation X, late Generation X, millennial baby. They call us. It's like a hybrid of Generation X and Millennial. I forget exactly what they call it. Genelio something. It's like a hybrid of Gen X and Millennial. So yeah, late Millennial. I mean late Gen X, but I vibe very well with the Millennial babies. So like the '80s babies. Those are all my little homies, right? So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit about my perspective and my point of view, how I look at things. So I'm not a religious person. I'm gonna put this out there. I'm not a religious person. I'm very spiritual though. So that means I probably can sense things that a religious person can't sense because I'm tapped into like everything. It ain't just religious connotation with me. I'm more in tune with spirituality. So what you guys will be hearing on this channel would be my perspective from a spiritual point of view. It's never going to be from a religious point of view because I think, me personally, I think that religion is, it was very important. Like when we didn't know certain things that we know now. And I still think religion is important. I just don't think that it's the only important thing. I think we need other things to add to religion. You see what I'm saying? So I think religion was very instrumental, at the time that it emerged. And I believed it helped to channel a whole lot of different things, a whole lot of great things, but a whole lot of bad things too. Because, what I understood is like, you can write things down just like the Constitution and, you can write things down, but people will always mess it up. So that's the thing. Like with a lot of people that get dissuaded with religion, a lot of people that get turned off from religion, they are looking at the people instead of looking at, the word or the Bible so people gonna mess up everything. Like it don't matter. You can have something written down, plain and simple, and people will mess it up every single time. So that's what I understood about religion. It's the people that turn away from religion. A lot of times they looking too closely at the people. You know what I'm saying? So I understand religion. I really do. I always felt like it was more to what was in those religious books. So, I've been exposed to pretty much all of them, right? So I understand them, but I just felt like it was more to it. Need to be, like I said, religion is good, but I think we need more things to add to religion. So that's what you're going to get on this channel. You're not going to get no definitive, perspective. I try to, gather a bunch of different things and come up with my own point of view. And I personally think that that's God. I think that's God. I don't think God is just in a book. I personally don't believe that God is in a book. I believe God is ever evolving. So that means God is in things that hasn't even been seen yet. You see what I'm saying? So how can it just be in a book that was written thousands of years ago? You know what I mean? And then when you factor in the fact that humankind was here, tens and 20, 30, 40,000 years ago, we don't even know exactly. We don't have no recorded history of when mankind began. It's that I subscribe to. That's what I'm forever yearning for, like to get some type of insight. But I know since we'll never be able to find any definitive, proof of how mankind began, all we can really rely on is the proof that we still here. So we're the actual proof that mankind existed, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning. So I don't know, I just look at the people now, the descendants of the original people. I look at us as proof that God is real, you know. I don't know. I think the answers is right in front of us. I don't think they're in a book, you know, but I do, like I said, I subscribe to what's in these books. I just don't think they're the only thing, you know what I'm saying? I think these things that we have been reading the Bible, great foundation, but I believe it's within us, it's in each individual we're like the key, you know what I'm saying, that can unlock all of that kind of stuff that's in these books. So, you know, I think we're each individual and collectively, I think we're the key to unlock all of this stuff. My brother DJ Logan, what's the word, big bro? My big brother, man, DJ Logan, man, real legend, man. One of them guys that, man, DJ, I got to get you on here, bro. I need you to share some of your insight and perspective, man. I really appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, all the time, man, you know, from, you know, years ago, you know, shining the light on things that was right in front of us, man. You know, I'm just, you know, we all share the same spirit, man. A lot of us from our hometown, our home city, you know, So on that note, I'm from Beecher, Michigan, which is an all black or majority black, unincorporated, it's called so they classify Beecher as a CDP, a census designated population. So Beecher pretty much is there for statistical purposes type stuff, like on paper. But we're a real community. We're not a part of Flint. And on paper, we're part of Mount Morris Township. So Mount Morris Township is in between Flint and the city of Mount Morris to the north and south. And to the west and east, we're in between the city called Flushing and another unincorporated part of Flint called Kearsley. That's to the east of Beecher. So the area I grew up in was predominantly black. So you're going to hear, but we were surrounded by white people. So you're going to hear a pro-black perspective with, a focus on white and black relations. That's pretty much my background, you know, growing up in Beecher. When we played sports, we played all white teams. We were the only black team. So just that alone, you know, navigating that. Now at school, it was predominantly black. So, but we still had a sprinkle of white, you know, we had a nice little population of white people. So, you know, I learned early I could have bullied white people, but I learned not to. I learned not to do it. I could have got away with it. It was a lot of people doing it, but I wasn't going to do it. I learned to be friends with these people. I learned to not be a bully to the white people that was at my school. So my perspective is that, but it's a grown-up version of that. You know what I'm saying? I have a all-inclusive perspective. I'm not so far, what y'all call far left or whatever, that I can't, you know, see what the right doing. You know what I'm saying? I understand what's going on. So I'm not a radical, right? So if y'all listen to my message, I always say everybody black. That's one thing that you're going to hear a lot of on this channel. And what I mean by that is everybody is everybody. That's it in a nutshell. I could just say that, but I like to use the word black because that word just, it seems to get so much emotion out of people. And I'm not wrong. It's actually factual. So I like to use the word black because what I learned about that word can like change the tone of everything. So I love using the word black. That's one of my favorite words to say. You know, you can actually get, you know, these days it's not as common though, because everybody using the word. They even trying to say the N word nowadays. So, but yeah, my whole thing with this live tonight is to give everybody a lot more insight. Maybe if I haven't said it on previous videos, now you know. Like I'm more than what, you know, y'all see too. I'm more than black. Now that's another thing I always say. I'm more than black, and every one of us are more than black. You know, we just got this melanin. This melanin is more than a color. This melanin is it's a frequency. Like we communicate with this. This is spiritual more than anything. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And that's the truth. And that actually applies to every human being. It's just, I think the ones with the most melanin, I think we really can dial in on it a lot easier. And I think that's because this melanin communicate with the sun, which is the energy source of this planet. So we're able to dial in on that, that spiritual version of us a little easier. I personally think that's what it is, but you know, I mean, I could just feel it. I don't know, but I feel it. But yeah, this is Marlon Speaks Live, Marlon Brown, Manifest Mo B, Motivated Mo B, Lazy Mo B, Moby, Mo, Boo. I got about 10 names. So, and I go by all of them. I answer to all of them. So, look, y'all feel free to drop comments, man. I want to know where you from. I need to know what you represent. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, I don't care whatever it is. Gang or white supremacists. I wouldn't care what you represent. Just put it down. I want to communicate with you. And I'm leaving my number up here for every line from here on out. I want to talk to people that want to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to people, you know, whether or not you want to have a discussion, civilized discussion or not, I will still talk to you. Because I ain't gonna lie, once this channel gets so big, that's when I'm gonna start blocking motherfuckers. But for right now, I'm just gonna take anybody. I'm just keeping it real. I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk to anybody. Yeah, this is my cousin's brand too. Stay high and happy, man. If y'all want one of these shirts, tap in. I got them. We got them for the low. I think they 20 or $19.99, something like that. $24.99. Stay high and happy shirts on deck. But yeah, you're just gonna hear a lot of my perspective. And my perspective is pretty much a hodgepodge of, you know, my background growing up in the predominantly black area, Beecher, with 3 brothers, no sisters. So I gotta, you know, I'm a man's man. You know, I like, you know, I talk like a man. You know, you pretty much gonna hear a man's perspective on here. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know no other way. And, you know, I'm heavy on the pro-black, but not even what y'all might think of as pro-black, more than black. I'm heavy on the more than black. I'm heavy on the God, the man made in God's image. That's what I'm really heavy on. Yeah, I don't even really identify with the word black is to describe me. I describe myself as a man made in God's image. So, and any other person, it's just a lot easier to call a melanated man that, what I'm saying, in this world that we live in. But because a lot of non-melanated people don't understand that terminology, a lot of, so I'm not religious. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm not religious at all. I'm very spiritual, heavy on the spiritual, very heavy on the spiritual. So, and I'm very heavy on reading between the lines and knowing how to decipher certain things that I might hear in the media, certain things that I might deem to be, okay, this what he mean, or this is what she meant by that. So I just share my perspective. Like I said in the previous video, I don't know nothing, but I feel everything. I know nothing. I don't know nothing. I really don't know nothing. Trust me, I don't know a damn thing, but I feel everything. So yeah, with that being said, welcome to Marlon Speaks Live. We're approaching 200 subscribers. Thank y'all again, once again. I had to unfollow somebody earlier. I had to unsubscribe from somebody earlier. He asked me something about, do I read the Bible? And I told him, I'm a man made in God's image. What do I need to? I've grown up reading the Bible. I don't need to keep reading that. You know what I'm saying? What I do now is I read myself, man, and I read everybody else, and I take certain things that you got to have within you. This is my perspective. If you don't got it within you, reading it is not going to help you. Reading it is not going to help you. If it's not in your heart, you can't read something and put it in your heart. I don't think so. You either have it, like you have to demonstrate it. Now, I believe reading something can spark something within you. Something that you already had and it gets sparked. But I think a lot of people play around with these religions and they read these books and they put on these suits and they put on these clothes and they learn how to talk a certain kind of way. And it's just like what the Killer Priest from the Wu-Tang said, man. He said, calling on his name and screaming hallelujah when he hardly knew you. That's how the devil soothe you. See, look into my eyes, brethren. That's the lies of a reverend. Why should you die to go to heaven? The earth is already in space. The Bible I embrace. Difficult tasks I had to take. I searched till my eyes were swollen and only arose when I found out that we were the chosen. I deal with the truth and build with the youth and teach my son as he kneels on the stoop. Son, life is a pool of sin, corrupted with foolish men and women with wicked minds who pill picket signs, the legalized abortion, the evil eye extortion. I quit, son, with my wisdom. Before I converted, I was perverted. Then knowledge was asserted. The study of wisdom, I preferred it. Yeah, man. But that first part is what I was really talking about. I just had to spit that. I just love it. It's one of my favorite. It's called Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. Bible, Bible. Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. And he said, calling on his name and screaming hallelujah when he hardly knew you. So yeah, man, I'm not a religious man. I'm so spiritual though. I'm so tapped in with what the spirit mean. You know, each one of us are made in God's image. None more or less. But you're not even really going to hear me talking about this so much. But this is what my message is rooted in. That So I'm just saying this now on this video, and I'm not going to keep talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to share with y'all, but I will come back to it when it's relevant. But, you know, you will never hear me really just saying everything like I'm saying now. I'm just saying everything like I'm saying now because that's the title of this video, my introduction. Allow me to introduce myself. So, yeah, other than that, man, I'm a hard worker, never been a street dude, never sold no drugs. You're never gonna hear me talking about street stuff on here. I do not subscribe to street stuff. That's why you will never hear me taking a lot of like what so-called black YouTubers, a lot of them, they just talk about rappers and all that. I'm in the music business too, but that's not how my mind clicked. Like, I don't allow the music business to dictate my mindset. So I do that. It don't do me. You know what I'm saying? So you will never hear me, talking about the latest, other than like if I bring up like some, like Puff Daddy, for instance, tonight or yesterday, he was sentenced. So that's relevant to me only because I know, just like I said earlier, I read between the lines. So I know what the courts, what the law, the Mann Act, all of that. I know historically what that means. That's relevant to me. You know, I got this melanin. So I know what the Mann Act, you know, I know why they came up with the Mann Act. And I know who is related to, the boxer, Jack Johnson. So Diddy, I'm actually about to do a piece on how Diddy and Jack Johnson is connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they made that law for Jack Johnson, but used it for Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't used that law too much or nothing. They just kind of like brought it out. And when you got this melanin, man, like you can't do what Hugh Hefner did. I bet Hugh Hefner might have committed that crime 1,000,000 times, right? But they wasn't checking for him. Just like this white on white crime, they not trying to check for them. So it just don't get the amount of attention. So yeah, like rap wise, if it's something that relates to a broader, you know, subject, I might speak on it. You know, other than that, if it's just like some gossip type shit, you'll never hear me making no videos, you know, trying to get no views. Oh yeah, on that note, I don't give a fuck about no views. So yeah, you will never hear me, you know, bringing up rap shit in the sense of trying to get no views. That's not what my channel was about. My channel is in its essence is speaking truth to power. Right? That's it. None more, none less. Trying to inspire, you know, from the inside out. You know, not just based off of how we look, but based off of how we feel. That's my main objective with this channel, is to share perspective, give some insight, uplift, and come up with some solutions. I don't think I'm gonna be making no videos about the solutions though, because that's when you become a target and you start making, when you start broadcasting the solutions. I'm gonna keep that on the low. You know what I'm saying? But I'm expose the problems for the most part. But I'm not gonna broadcast the solutions, only because I know how this system operate. You know, yeah, they love to sabotage. But yeah, I'm pretty much done, man. I just wanted to put this out there. This is the official introduction to Marlon Speaks Live. Y'all welcome. We already tapped in. We us anyway. Let's make it official. Love y'all. One.